Picks and bans, we go. Welcome everyone to game number 2. I'm Jake Kelton. Joining me is Wraith, and these are viewer games. So we're gonna have ourselves a little bit of fun. We got some normal faces. We've seen them play a bunch of times before, and some play faces we haven't seen in a little while. Silent Fire and Smurf all lanes coming out of the woodwork to join into game number 2 of the night.
First ban going to be Echo, not one that we see banned away a lot, but could that be a targeted ban, do you think?
I have to assume that it probably is targeted, but I can't think of who it's targeted to. They might be trying to spell something because it is a free play game, but he also can be pretty good engaged in the mid lane, and maybe somebody just got out of a game where they got absolutely decimated by Echo, and they say, you know what, it's just one of those games, I just don't want to see Echo. He literally just smashed me, and he's the last person that I want to see in this game played again, so we're just going to take him off the table immediately.
Yeah. Hecarim. I could see that happening with Hecarim. When Hecarim gets ahead, man, it just makes my life miserable. Just comes flying out of a jungle, ults me, and then runs backward and stomps me. I'm like, oh.
My soldiers march on.
Okay, thank you for that follow, Mr. Big B. But I agree.
That was fun, interactive gameplay.
Hecarim is incredibly strong. He's actually seeing a pretty decent amount of pro play right now. Not always to the greatest success, because CC can still be a problem, and he has a tendency to overdive situations, go a little bit deeper than he would necessarily like, but still incredibly strong, and that AoE fear is always something to watch out for. Aatrox also banned away, making sure that, you know what, some of these strong laners, the jungler, the top lane, each one getting a little bit of a visit from the bans.
Which is usually how it happens in this sort of a game. But we're going to see Yuumi for the first time. You were just talking about how much you love that champion. Well, you get to see it, Jake. On stream here live at XLNC Shoutcasting, we get to see our very first Yuumi. And who do you think is going to be paired up with her? Would be a good one. I could see Kai'Sa being really good because you could jump in with Yuumi and the ultimate, so a lot of all-in potential there, though, I mean, Yuumi doesn't exactly have any CC to set it up, so...
It depends on whether they're trying to take her carry or true support as she should be played. I know that some people are trying to pull off kind of an AP Yuumi in the bottom lane, doing a little bit of funky stuff. I like the pairing with Cho'Gath because her stats are increased depending on the health of the champion that she's with. In late game, that pairing is quite a monster. But I'll say that the likelihood is that it's going to be someone with decent range, however, mostly that you don't want to be too far range that Yuumi can't make an effect. Like, not great pairing with a Caitlyn, because Caitlyn's range is just too long. However, a great person for her to be with is someone like a Tristana, who in the early game has a bit of a shorter range, so it doesn't matter that Yuumi, the range is fine for Yuumi to join forces with. And then late game, when Tristana has a massive amount of range, it's fine because Yuumi is going to be probably on the Cho'Gath or the Kassadin anyway, so not that big of a deal. The other people could be maybe the Ezreal, because he's kind of a pokier champion. She can constantly make sure she's dropping those heals on the Ezreal and that he's fine. Plus, he can kind of solo lane himself anyway, and so it's not that big of a deal if he's got that support just kind of sitting on him, adding those heals in. We'll see who they pick up as we are through the second ban phase and through the picks for Team Hornet, locking themselves in a Riven and a Rammus for the jungle and the top lane. They've got themselves a pretty interesting composition so far.
Yeah, interesting is right. Varus going to be picked up by Nova. We know he likes that champion a lot. So let's see. Mid lane Kassadin, probably going up against that Taliyah. Taliyah has the advantage in the early game, of course, but then the Kassadin has it in the late game as you would expect. It is going to be a carry Yuumi, it looks like. Doc Shocker locking that one in himself. Gonna be interesting to see what she does down in the bot side. Let's see. We'll wait for all of the picks to sort out and then we'll do analysis here. I like the tank Cho'Gath plus off-tank Renekton, and then you have late-game Kassadin. I like that. I'm not sure about carry Yuumi, but it could be, maybe.
It could also be a carry Pike. Mystic Warrior may be playing that Pike as the AD carry. One of the things we saw recently in last Thursday's game actually was a mid lane Pike that made Pike look like a solo assassin. Incredible damage, and what he ran, if we see it this game, it'll be pretty interesting to watch, is he would use the Q, but only for the damage. Literally, it would be an instant pop pop just to grab that extra burst of damage from the Q when making an engage in a small hesitation on the enemy champion. It was pretty fascinating, haven't seen it much before. We'll see if that's the case, or if it is going to be that carry Yuumi, as Yuumi does have that heal, and that indicates that Darkshocker may be looking to be a bit more of the damage dealer, not just full-on support.
Yeah, it is possible. I have seen Yuumi Pike work well before, but let's go through players and their champions real quick, and then break this down a little bit more. What do you think?
Indeed. So for the side of Kitkat and a half, we've got Darkshocker taking the Yuumi in the probably support role, but maybe carry. No free names with the Cho'Gath in the jungle, something to keep your eyes on, not in that top lane. Smurf all lanes, taking the Kassadin into that mid lane, carrying teleport though, so making sure that he can engage across the map. Zeno with the Renekton into the top lane, and Mystic Warrior joining Yuumi in that bottom lane, playing the Pike.
And for Team Hornet, we've got Talia, played by Catnator, most likely in mid lane. We've got Nova taking Varus, the bottom lane ADC role. Silent Fire grabbing either for top or mid. That has been a thing recently. However, Zed probably going to be the mid laner with Talia support. Okay, Talia's going in the bottom lane supportive role, Zed mid, and Riven top lane. Dragon Axe playing that Zed, and Aether Rising rounding it out with Rammus in the jungle. Very interesting composition. But we have seen Cat play.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Support.
He's incredibly powerful on that Talia. It's all about timing as that support. You want to make sure that your seismic shove can grab 1 to 2 members. And the great thing about the Pike and Yuumi combined in the bottom lane is that if you grab the one that Yuumi is on, you get both anyway. It's 2 for free, baby. And so I think in the bottom lane, that Talia Varus, especially post 6 when that Varus is going to have the ultimate available, all he has to do is root 1. The other person is going to sit there. Even if Yuumi tries to hop off, she still has that chance of being rooted up anyway. Plus, combine that root with the seismic shove out of Catnator's Talia, which we've seen before can be devastating. And on top of that, a Rammus ganking with that taunt. That's going to be CC for days in the bottom lane for the side of Team Hornet. I think they're going to be pretty happy.
Definitely. And here in 16 seconds, we're going to be getting into the match. But top lane's kind of a skill matchup, to be honest. Riven with the change. It's not exactly a nerf because they reduced the cooldown on her Q, but increased the cooldown on her E. That means that she's going to have less defensive options. That means if she uses Valor, her shield, to try and dodge out on a little bit of the damage, then Renekton's going to have a much longer window in which he can punish her for using that. So, I think that's definitely a good change, because the most frustrating thing about playing against Riven is that it seems like she always has shield. Just always, whenever you want to kill her. And it is going to be Yuumi grabbing the fleet footwork, so most likely going for that more carry style of champion. ADC, in fact, not even trying to invest in that AP Yuumi, which we've heard a bit about. Interesting.
All right, well, we'll see how these things all pan out as we are into game number 2. If you had to predict a team to win, which team would it be?
Take a look at these real quick. I think Kitkat and a half has the better chance late game, even though I don't bet on variable, because I have no clue how Darkshocker's going to do. But I like Smurf all lanes on that Kassadin with a heavy tank line in front of him. Also, Mystic Warrior having access to AoE Darius will probably be helpful considering all of the damage that can come through.
Pike Bone Skewer going to land onto Catinator. Catinator forced to flash, so an early flash into the bottom lane from Team Hornet. Something to note is that it is a support Talia, so flash not going to mean quite as much. It's going to be playing around that Bone Skewer from the Pike again. And it looks like Pike is going to be that support as he has taken the Ancient Coin.
And Dragon Axe just going to be chilling in this bush right here. Probably going to try and drop down a ward right here. Get some vision onto the enemy jungler. Always smart to do so you know what camps he's starting and where you can expect a gank from. Nothing terribly interesting happening just yet, though.
Talia might still try to steal this away. Hold on. Catinator's still around the corner.
Spotted out, though.
Yeah, all right. You sidesteps the Bone Skewer. Whoa! Actually, with that rock toss, got a little bit closer to stealing than maybe Kitkat and a half would have liked. However, they still end up getting that bottom lane red buff, so good for them starting the game off right.
Yep, and does force the smite out of the Cho'Gath. Oh, Talia still harassing the Cho'Gath at his Raptors. So just making himself a nuisance before he goes back down in the bottom lane. And he has to be careful. He doesn't have any flash from that early thing. So if he eats a hook, he's gonna have some issues.
All right, well, game's still fairly even so far. There's Zed in that mid lane getting a little bit of CS lead over the Kassadin, but he's ranged as was expected as Xeno in the top lane going to die to the Ignite from Silent Fire. The level 2 Riven, we've seen it so many times, and once again comes out in the lead on that top side. Great engage, early Ignite. Did have to burn the flash, though, so Renekton will have flash. However, that's still an early start to Riven. We'll see if she can start that snowball in the top lane. As Mystic, we're going to come to the bottom lane, find the stun onto Nova. He's going to be pulled back with the Bone Skewer as well. Nova going to be in deep trouble. The heal is not available as he'd already flashed and healed earlier, but now Catinator trying to make the trade has ignited Mystic Warrior. However, looks like Pike will live.
Yeah, and it's just what I was saying in the last game. Level 2 all in. Probably the best moment, and Catinator gonna eat a hook, does not have flash.
Stunned up as well, tries to get the seismic shove to shove Mystic Warrior underneath the turret, with a good heal by Doc Shocker once again. Keep Mystic Warrior alive and well in the bottom lane from Kitkat and a half are doing quite well. Catinator getting a couple of those rock tosses, dropping Mystic Warrior low. The turret shots are going to come through. Mystic Warrior going to be dropping as the Varus is going to come up. A good Q, going to just poke a little bit of damage, but a good seismic shove. Doc Shocker's dropping low. The turret shot's not going to come through in time, and the cat escapes. As Mystic Warrior may look to try to re-engage on Catinator, who's sitting at under 100 health underneath the turret.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if he goes for this, he's crazy. No free names coming in on Dragon Axe, who I believe has
Rupture not going to land.
He's not in any damage.
Yeah.
Oh, he uses that. I was going to say, he has access to Living Shadow. There's no danger here. Silent Fire, going to get stunned up real quick. And Xeno, oh, wait. Wow. Aggressive.
Oh, rocks. Yeah, seismic shove onto the cat. They're going to find her. She was not on the Pike, and so they get themselves a nice kill. They'd already burned basically every spell earlier to heal down, and that is a good continuous pressure in the mid lane, though. Dragon Axe, flash for flash. The Ignite taking away on Kassadin will not drop him. His no for names. Tries to make the trade onto the Zed, who doesn't have many of his spells left. The flash and the Ignite are both down. He's going to sidestep the Rupture. No free names. Battling it out, but losing a bit too much health, and a great electrocute proc from Dragon Axe. Picks up his first kill of the game in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Xeno had a decent advantage in the top lane over Silent Fire, who's just trying to pick up some CS before going back. This is a huge wave, and if he misses out on it, that's going to be almost enough to make up for losing the kill. At the moment, actually, Renekton up a decent amount of CS. Oh, hold on, the all-in coming in.
Oh, that's going to be the Renekton in trouble. Great engage by Aether Rising. Perfect timing in combination with Silent Fire. Sorry, Renekton, no chance to escape. Even if he had Slice and Dice, there was nothing that he could have sliced and diced to get out of that situation. And at the moment, we're once again seeing Red Team leading. Different players, different game, but still a good early lead by Team Hornet.
Yeah. And the fact that Silent Fire gets another kill. He was falling behind in CS. Hold on, Nova eats another hook.
Oh.
No flash this time, so it would definitely be dangerous for him to take another one of those with the enemy carry in range. Let's see, what is Doc Shocker itemizing into? 2 long swords, so is it going to be cooldown reduction?
A little bit of AD so far. Nova going to miss a Q on a Mystic Wear. However, that Pike playing just on the edge of the turret range. You could criticize Varus for his little bit of farming. However, it's not like Doc Shocker has gotten that much farm as well in the bottom lane. And to top it all off, Pike is stealing a little bit when he's doing those engages and doesn't have that relic shield. So with that talisman, he's just going to be grabbing a bit of CS for himself. It's actually Talia has evened that CS up between those supports. But overall, good stuff here. Still is an even nice engage from Catinator once again. However, Nova caught out, and the burst damage comes through. Doc Shocker picking up a second kill in the bottom lane.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Dragon Axe shoving Smurf lanes underneath the tower. And let's take a look at this CS numbers in the mid lane. 56-38. Pretty big CS lead, and that's going to be a serrated dirk and a longsword. Why does a dirk, which is a dagger, deal more damage than a longsword? Has anyone ever thought of that?
It's a good question. Do want to note, though, that the Zed in this lead needs to keep that pressure up. He's got that level 7. He's got that ultimate now, and he needs to use it. Gassadin is one of those late-game scaling champions, and even if you shut him down early, he's still going to come back huge in the later portion of the game. And so Zed needs to keep that pressure up.
Flash.
Silent Fire keeping the pressure up in the top side, forcing out that flash out of the Renekton. Dropped Ignite as well, but didn't get the kill. And now with Ignite, Xeno has a rare opportunity that he could try to make a play up there after he gets him his health back in the bottom lane. Mystic Wear, bit of an overstep, and again, the seismic shove out of Catinator is so good. In the meantime, Dragon Axe says, Gassadin wasn't here in the mid lane. I'll roam to the bottom lane, look for a kill, throws down that ultimate. No free names underneath the turret, should be fine as the healing comes through. Just kidding! That's the Shurikens coming out. The heal not enough. The flash forward from Catinator, trying to finish off Mystic Wear. The Q's just gonna miss out of the Varus. In the meantime, though, Yuumi might be finding herself walking home. The flash from Mystic Wear directly underneath the turret, but the red buff, Dragon Axe, still here. Catinator's gonna take away the kill, and now Yuumi kind of caught between a Rock Lady and an Assassin. We'll see if they can shove this in. She does have the waves, so Doc Shocker will just defend the turret for now. Is in the top lane. That Riven earlier with that Ignite and ultimate didn't find the kill, but doesn't need it to find another solo kill against the Renekton. Now 3-0 up there.
Yeah, and this Riven's going to be a pretty big terror in toward the late game. This is probably going to be plates as well. At least 1, maybe 2. And yeah, Catinator and Nova probably going back off after this, not trying to force for 2. But Silent Fire grabs a plate of her own up in the top side. That Riven starting to get pretty rich and pretty scary. 3-0, 53 CS to the 42. So 10 CS advantage plus a plate plus 3 kills. That's a lot. Doc Shocker going to be trying to farm up a little bit on the Yuumi here.
And is actually finding a nice CS lead over that Varus at this point, about 10 CS up, and has another full wave to clear as Varus has to play safe. That Talia was kind of roaming to get some vision around the river.
Good use of the Q to farm the cannon minion rather than stepping forward where he could possibly get hooked out.
Okay, now they're going to be seen by the control ward, but we got to fight the mid lane as the smite comes down from the Rammus. Aether Rising gets to the top, but a perfect ultimate out of Smurf all lanes. Hops over the wall with that Rift Walker and gets away.
Yep. Aether Rising has made several good ganks, one in the bot side and one in the top side that were very impactful and kind of decided top lane. Riven had gotten an early lead, but had fallen behind. But with the Rammus coming toward the top side and ganking the Renekton, that really kind of puts the nails in the coffin of top lane for right now.
So it's a 3,000 gold lead for Team Hornet. They haven't quite found their stinger just yet. Their Riven might be that player, though, as she's going to be grabbing the blue buff, stealing it away from the Cho'Gath, who could definitely use that for himself. She wasn't able to complete it, though, as Renekton's going to come in to try to defend. She's going to actually throw out the ultimate and then turn it on to Renekton. Is it going to be a 2-for-1 for the Riven? Renekton steals the blue buff, now trying to make the play. The Cassidon is here as well, but Silent Fire picks up the kill on Renekton and then flashes away. In the meantime, though, Cho'Gath finding the rupture onto 2 members. Maybe he says, you know what, I'm not sure I want to fight this. This Katnir has to run away. We don't get to see the fight on the top side as Riven picks up the double kill on the Cassidon. Silent Fire just decimating everyone who shows up to try to fight her.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point where 2 members might not be enough to fight this Riven. A BF sword, a Vamp scepter, 2 long swords, and more plates coming through, and doesn't look like she's going to stop. Going to get 3 now, and might stick around for 4th if she wants to push in another wave. Renekton just getting back, but taking those 2 tower shots probably means she'll go back. Speaking of plates, 2 falling for Dante, for Dragon Axe here. Has Living Shadow, so should be able to jump.
No, but he's been silenced. He's smited up. I know free names as well. Throws down that ultimate, looking for the Cho'Gath. In the meantime, Yuumi ultimate in the bottom lane onto 2 members. Finds the ruin to Katnir, but the damage is turned around. They found the ruin. They found Mystic. They have found so much damage. Nova picks up 1. Katnir to the 2nd. Aether Rising gank isn't even needed. That Rammus just rolls in to watch his team pick up 2 members, and now they can turn onto the turret in the bottom lane. In the mid lane, the Zed was also able to take down Cho'Gath, forcing that early recall for him as his Dragon Axe 3-0. Yet again, another game in which Red Team seems to be decimating from beginning to the middle.
Yeah, and I have to give massive props to Nova right there. The play that he made really saved Katnator's life as well as snaring up everybody. But I'm just taking a look at Dragon Axe in the mid lane. Wow, that was clean. Looked like he was caught out, but throws the Living Shadow over the wall, baits the Cassidon to go over and try and deal with his shadow, and then just solo kills the Cho'Gath. And then when Cassidon tries to come back to kill him, he just Living Shadows over the wall.
Riven maybe looking to kill Xeno in the top lane. The Renekton ultimate was popped, but he wasn't able to do that much. Only dropped Silent Fire to about half health. That was the perfect time to fight the Riven, considering that she doesn't have Flash or Ignite. And so now maybe with Cho'Gath here, with that Control Ward in the brush, they can try to 2v1 her, but the Rupture's gonna miss. Silent Fire on the run. Broken Wings, can it save the Riven? She can't get to the wall in time to hop over, and a great shutdown gold gonna go over to Xeno. Now Dragon Axe in the meantime is gonna catch Yuumi out. She goes invincible, though, jumping onto the Cassidon, who can try to carry her to safety. In the meantime, Pyke finds Katnir behind enemy lines over the wall, picks up the kill. They were able to pick up the Mountain Drake for the side of Team Hornet. However, they did lose that support, as they're going to be grouping together in the enemy team's jungle. Need to layer up this vision. Pyke flashing forward, can't find the stun of the Dragon Axe. The Zed able to walk away for now. Rammus just behind him as they're going to reposition around the mid lane. Doc Shocker, great use of that invincibility to hop on Cassidon and get out of harm's way.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think she's just really, really strong. Because she's hard to kill. Like, if there's somebody else around, you actually just can't kill Yuumi. Especially if it's tank.
I'm curious if the Zed ults her and then she goes untargetable on someone, if they can still get the kill if she's low enough health. I don't know how that works. Sometimes, like, Elise, even if she repels, you can still have Ignite damage tick her down and she can fall down. She's untargetable, but she can still die. Renekton caught on that top side. Xeno gonna drop Katnir with a great roam up there. In the meantime, Zed gonna find himself facing off against 3 members. Yuumi joining forces with this Cho'Gath in the bottom lane. Pyke gonna try to see if he can maybe catch out this Zed. It's a little bit slippery, so Dragon Axe gets out.
Yeah, and she's deceptive because when she's joined, it's hard to see. I don't think you can actually see her her little emblem on the map. So it's hard to see if there are 2 champions there if you're not paying attention, if you're not expecting her to be there.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I have to check that. I know that you can't see her name in bold colors.
Oh, okay.
There's a little cat face around the pike. I like it. Well, they're going to come to the bottom lane looking for the Nova. The ultimate from Yumi's going to completely whiff. In the meantime, the Q from Varus, seeing what damage he can do. He's probably gone down. Throws out that ultimate. Gets a good route down onto Mystic Warrior. But the heal from Yumi will make sure that the ultimate from Pyke is good enough to take down the Yasuo. In the meantime, though, or sorry, not the Yasuo. Yeah, Yasuo's in this game, everyone. Take down the Varus. In the meantime, though, Kassadin dropped to Zed once again, as he just continues to pressure in this mid lane 4-0. And now the 5-1 Riven wants revenge on the Renekton, but the Cho'Gath is here. Gonna hop away from the Rupture. However, the Ignite comes down. Xeno's pretty tanky at this point. Can continue to chase forward. Silent Fire gonna get smited up by the Cho'Gath. Try to make the turn, but the feast from Cho'Gath just says no and shuts down Silent Fire once again, as Kitkat and a half has been only playing like half members so far this game, but at the 15-minute mark seem to be trying to turn this game around.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you get a champion that's kind of a montage champion like Riven gets too far ahead. The want is to think you're invisible. It's like, 3 people, I'll outplay them. It's okay, I'm fed, and then you end up giving up over a ton of shutdown gold. Then bad things start happening. So Riven has given over a total of like 1,500 gold right now in deaths. It's still very far in the lead, but she's got to be careful now. Renekton's received a ton of that gold, and it's going to be a lot easier for him to fight her.
14 kills to 6. It's still a 7,000 gold lead for Team Hornet. But now's the time where they need to actually use that golden item lead that they have to win some of these skirmishes. They can't be negative about it. They can't have the Riven inting into the enemy mid laner, or top laner and jungler in that mid lane. You can't be going around solo. Unless you're split pushing on the side and drawing pressure there, you can't be doing those sorts of things. They're going to drop the Rift Herald, Team Hornet into the mid lane. Going to get at least one charge off of that. Probably that's all that Shelly can do, as the rest of the team from Kitkat and a half should be able to clear that up pretty quickly. But the siege from Hornet, let's see if they continue it, as Rammus is going to be pulled in by the Bone Skewer. He's going to find the taunt onto the Pyke and immediately hops away. So gets the stun, but Cho'Gath now on the run. Riven has thrown out that ultimate, joining the rest of her team as they're going to secure the second turret in the mid lane. Katnir just off to the side, ready to wall off the team. The flash forward from Riven can't find the engage, though, onto the Cho'Gath. Throws out that ultimate, dropping Kassadin down to about a third of his health, as Katnir is still sitting off to the side, waiting to throw out that Weaver's wall.
Not going to come to anything, though. Katnator just sitting over the wall, kind of defending that control ward.
Oh, that's going to be a 2-man seismic shot by Katnator, forcing Doc Shocker to burn all of those healing stacks. Healing up Xeno a little bit, but the siege is going to continue. A great Bone Skewer pulls Katnator over the wall. The silence as well. There's a Rammus trying to join the fight, but the ultimate from Yumi is going to reset it until the rest of the team. Zed comes through, picking up a double kill. Varus is just free shooting on the backside. Gets a double kill as well. 3-3-3 the scoreline. Completely respectable, as Dragon Axe comes out with a triple kill and an ace for Team Hornet.
Yes, and that's pretty much going to be all she wrote. They could push for a Nexus Tower if they really wanted to right here, without too much difficulty. And Zed wants the Nexus Tower, but nobody else does. They're going to back off, grab the Ocean Drake. They probably would have preferred if it was an Infernal, but all in all, they'll take it. Ocean Drake, great for sieging anyway.
And that's really what they seem to be doing fantastically, is sieging until the point of the enemy team making a mistake. You saw them hanging around that mid lane, wave crashed, a second wave crash, and then Talia got pulled over the wall, and you thought, this is bad. However, hold on, in the meantime, Dragon Axe going to be stunned up. Great positioning from Mystic Warrior. Kassadin's going to get that shutdown gold, which is really, really crucial for the side of Kitkat and a half, as you need that Kassadin to be in carrying room. She's got that Rod of Ages at the moment. We'll see what else they can do. Katnir trying to finish off Mystic Warrior. The Ignite's going to tick down. Mystic Warrior is only going to Bone Skewer the Talia closer to actually get that kill. And now no free names can catch out the Talia, giving the kill over to all Smurf all lanes, excuse me, once again. So now 3-3 on that Kassadin score line, starting to stack up a little bit of gold.
Yeah, that's definitely a little bit concerning. Nova not going to have any way to deal with a fed Kassadin jumping on his face. But Dragon Axe still very strong from the assassin's perspective, so could probably deal pretty well with the Caston, at least until Cast has money for a Zonia's Hourglass, at which point Zed becomes a lot less useful.
Exactly. He still is sitting on the first tier boots. Not exactly what you want. However, I like Smurfall Lanes immediately buying that Rod of Ages. Now has the Seraph's, I believe that is as well. No, the Archangel Staff, excuse me. Seraph's Embrace, what am I talking about? But kind of scaling all to late game. It's all about this late game. Cassidy saying, you know what? I know that we're going to lose the early. I know they're going to have a difficult time, but we just got to stall till that 30-minute mark. And at that point, I will be a monster that will be uncontestable.
But the question is he ever going to get to that point? Because right now it's going to be pretty difficult.
Rammus trying to tank these seismic shove pulls, no free names into the enemy team, but they've caught Mystic Warrior, so they've got themselves one, and Team Hornet. With that, they might continue to push this mid lane, but they really like a second inhibitor to really find themselves in control of the game. They're already pretty hard to control the game, about 10,000 gold lead. They're going to pull Zeno, and he's going to flash away. Yumi there to get those heals as well, and the rupture onto two members. Zeno picks up two, and then Rammus is going to be able to trade one back. Varus able to pick up Cho'Gath as well. I think this has been great positioning by Nova, who's focusing on the objectives, taking down the second Nexus turret as well. This might be the end of the game as the stings finally add up and are a bit too much. Oh, Mystic Warrior kind of trying to trade around with the ultimate. He's going to have that ultimate for a second one. There it is. Catanir now the only person here going to get ulted by Yumi until the flash comes through as well. Still pulled back in by Mystic Warrior and rooted. Catanir executed with the ultimate of Pike. This game's not over. It's no anaphylactic shock for Kitkat 05 as they strike back to try to defend the base.
Yeah, and Mystic Warrior saves the game. Pike ultimates onto Zed, Varus, and the Talia. That's 3 kills to Mystic Warrior, as well as a couple of assists, which will give full gold over to Yumi. That's pretty good, but can they turn it into anything? It's really difficult for them to leave their base right now, just because they have one inhibitor down, as well as an open Nexus. If they spend too much time getting caught up around Baron, then I mean, super minions can just straight up take out their base. They've got nothing in that lane that's going to take down the super minions. So Nova and Silent Fire kind of moving around that Baron. I want to see Hornet put down vision surrounding the Baron and then force the enemy team to come to them.
All right, well, the Zed is going to be a little bit harder to finish off as Dragon Axe has picked up that Guardian's Angel, Aether Arising, tanking up the Baron as it's been started by Team Hornet. No one ready to respond by Kitkat. They aren't even in position to really know that this is happening at the moment. As the Mystic Warrior, though, is going to be around the corner. He's going to go in. Can he steal it away? Tries to throw the ultimate, but it's just a bit too early. And Riven picks up not only the Baron, but also the Pike as the Renekton falls to Talia, soloed towards the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and wisely, they did stay away from the Baron for the most part, though. Hold on.
Oh, the Ram is going to come rolling on in. Look for the taunt onto the Cho'Gath. No free names. Held for a moment. Knocked up as well. The CC is good. Doc Shocker trying to get the heals down, but Dragon Axe finishing off the Cassin on the backside. Assassinating that backline exactly as you want. The Weaver's Wall from the Talia as they have to focus from the side of Team Hornet. That inhibitor in the mid lane as you can't finish off the Nexus without one of those inhibitors going down, but that should be all she wrote. Couple people inting onto the fountain, throwing out those wards for that extra style points, and Team Hornet looking for the kill onto Renekton. Zeno rooted up by a great ultimate from the Varus, and that is going to be all she wrote for game number 2 as Team Hornet will finally put it home.
Yep, that was a very strong game for the side of Team Hornet. Pretty much beginning to end, they were in the lead. Let's take a look. Thing loads in. All right, get into MVPs mentions. So we've got Kitkat and a half. I think I want to give honorable mention Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give it over to first. Smurf all lanes probably going to get the honorable mention from me. And then Mystic Warrior getting the MVP. Smurf all lanes, with that scaling build, you had a brief glimmer of life where he was 3-3, going even, had good CS numbers, almost the highest on his team, despite the fact that he's not an early game champion. Did get soloed in lane a couple of times, but was starting to show signs of life. But unfortunately, the snowball just too big for the Kassadin to stop it, and it just rolled right over him. But I'm going to give the MVP over to Mystic Warrior, that awesome 3-man ultimate to save the game, plus some of his roams, as well as the hooks that he was landing in bot lane. Worth the MVP. However, let's take a look.
Through my eyes, I used to know the words to this song, but I don't know anymore. Take a look. Through my eyes. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you Jake's halftime show. All right. So, take a look. I want to give... Wow. There are actually some really good candidates here, too. I think I want to give the honorable mention over to Dragon Axe and the MVP over to Catnator, with Silent Fire getting a shout-out. Dragon Axe just had some really sick plays. Won his lane by himself. But all in all, I can't see as though he had crazy impact on the actual deciding fights. There weren't a ton of fights that decided the game, really. Everyone was just so behind coming out of lane. But Catnator dealing the most damage in the game. A couple of really sweet plays where there was the one in the top lane where he threw Weaver's Wall across and cut Xeno off from really half the river away, and guaranteed that kill. He got 2 bonus kills. The one where the Pike condemned himself to death, basically grabbing Catnator closer. There were a couple where he turned it around. There was one where he turned it around 2v1. So all the damage coming through from Catnator. I want to give a shout out to Nova, actually.
I want to do that too.
Playing really strong on this Varus. Almost got a 2v1 outplay in the bottom lane. Had he kited backwards instead of forwards, I think he could have gotten 2v1 versus Mystic Warrior and Doc Shocker. Pretty close. But Silent Fire also deserving of a heavy shout-out. That early 1v1 kill versus the Renekton, and then the repeat kill with the gank off of Aether Rising, and then just the consistent beatdown that was coming in the top side, at least until Renekton got a little bit hairy toward the end, which is why he doesn't get an MVP or an honorable mention. The early game was clean, but then he got caught out 2 or 3 times, and that was it's kind of an iffy mark, I guess you would say. So that's what puts Dragon Axe at the honorable mention and Catnator at the MVP.
All right, well, with that, we're going to take a very quick break, and we're going to be right back with game number 3. If you have not signed up for game number 3, now is the time to do it. And with Blue Team winning, those of you who bet, enjoy your points. We'll be right back with game number 3.
Follow, but you must witness.
Oh, and thank you, Aizen Meanhole, for that follow. Appreciate that a lot.